to see how big the classes were, because I always had this conception that all college classes would be like super huge and have like a whole bunch of students in it. And some are, but not all of them are. And the reason why I was concerned is because like when it comes to colleges, professors with typically large classes won't be able to get to everybody who has a question. So I was concerned that if I had any worries or doubts within the subject I was studying, would I be able to get my questions answered? But it's actually really fluid and it works with the schedules that each and everybody has in place. So professors also have office hours available that you can also come in and check and talk to them one on one and all kinds of things. So they just have a whole bunch of uh, they just have a whole bunch of availability for you to succeed within college.
Yeah.
And Renato, if I can say something on that as well.
Go ahead, brother Aaron.
Well, one for me, I know you're probably not going to believe it, but was self-doubt, like the lack of self-confidence, because you're so used to, they don't know what to expect in the college environment. So you may think that college may not be for you, or that that lessons may be too hard. What I did, and this is something I learned, is that I would compare myself to the other students in class, because you start to realize, like, okay, I was a smart kid at my school or smart in high school, but then will those same smarts apply to college? Then you realize that it's not about comparing, it's just about what you can do and what works best for you. So one of my biggest concerns was just during those low moments, if I needed support from others. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you, brother Aaron.
Looks like we got two guys that responded. We got brother Jason. One concern I have is student debt. Yep, that's real. Brother Chris, not being able to transfer to the university I want to go to. Yep.
Can I address that one?
Of course, go ahead. And please.
Okay, so right when you pull up to the school, well, technically we ain't pulling up nowhere because it's online. But right when you get into your institution, you can seek out a transfer counselor. So you can work with them and they'll tell you straight up, like, look, I'm trying to go to UCLA. What do I got to do to get to UCLA? Mm-hmm. And they'll sit you down and they'll say, okay, these are the classes for your major and this is what you got to do. And they'll lay it out for you, for your path, for your plan. Dylan said, sorry. One concern is figuring out where to live when I transfer.
Yep.
That's another thing. Depending on where you go, they may have, like, those that are going, well, we're all going to Los Rios, but those that go to Los Rios and like other schools, they have this thing on Facebook called the Textbook Exchange. When I went to University of Pacific in Stockton, we had our own little like Facebook page, and basically you could put, if you're looking for a roommate, whether you're selling books, they have student housing depending on where you transfer to, but sometimes it's better to like live off campus because it's cheaper. Okay, Christopher said he talked to his counselor and she said TRC doesn't have all the classes for transferring to Cal Poly for mechanical engineering. And that, unfortunately, sometimes is the case. I would look and see if other Los Rios campuses have them, because because Los Rios is a district, you can take classes throughout the entire district and it still counts.
Yep.
So sometimes you might have to, yeah.
Yeah, and I just put in the message or the chat box talking about transferring. That's a big thing to talk about, which we can follow up on in the next series, because there's different programs at different campuses. Like the ADT was basically called the Associate Degree to Transfer, which allows you to take a certain amount of units to transfer in 2 years. Like partnership, I think they have that through Sac State. So that's definitely something we'll address, so you guys are informed on next steps. Even if you're just thinking about it and you don't, at least you have the information to know what to do.
Here's also another gem. Tony said, I have the same concern as Christopher as well, since I want to transfer to San Jose State University for the animation program, but the admittance there is extremely hard because they have a GPA requirement of 3.6, which is prone to change.
Yeah.
Changes. So sometimes, and like me, like I learned how to use finesse, like not just like out here finessing, but to go into a new school and to introduce yourself, just to tell somebody who you are and what you're about, like that sets you apart from people. So you can come to CRC or wherever school you're going to in the Los Rios College District, and you can email somebody at the school that you are looking at transferring to. You can talk to them about their programs, and you can get in touch with them so that they already like you by the time you get there. Or it sets you apart to where you're already working with them. My friend, she just transferred from UOP to Alabama. Roll Tide, there we go. She transferred there, and she was talking to the people before she went, and they made the transition real smooth.
Nice. And I think, Brother Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, but you transferred, right?
Yes, sir. I am a community college. Went from CSU to community college to no school to community college back to the CSU to Sac State, and recent college graduate.
Did you talk about kind of like the transfer process and like kind of like what that entailed and what?
All right, check this. Okay, this is good. Thanks, Fernando. So when you guys go to your college counselors at the CC, you want to ask them which classes impact two separate areas for transfer requirements, because there are certain classes that allow you to do that. That will say I take one of them was like History 143 or History 143, and it counts for like Group A and like elective Group E or something. So that way you don't have to take, as one, save more money, two, not take as many classes, and three, it's just people get into the habit once they go into a CC, they're like, oh, this class sounds good, this class sounds better. But you're just taking these classes just to take them because they sound good. They're not really impacting your transfer requirement report. And so what you would need to do is, as soon as you get there, or you can even do it now, because I'm sure the school has a website. Sac State has one. Every school should have one, a list of degree requirements.
Yep.
You guys should have that list of degree requirements so you know which classes are major impacted and which classes are just general courses.
Yep. That's good. Thank you, Aaron. And I'm writing a lot of these points as a follow-up, in the next series that we can address, so you guys that have that information. And Omar, yep, I think that's time management is like you'll probably hear majority of college students, even now, like even upperclassmen that haven't kind of tackled time management, because that's a life thing, So we'll definitely talk about that, especially going into your first year, because even though college is different from high school, even now it's going to be different because of the virtual learning. So we'll definitely talk about that. But quickly, maybe some of the coaches can touch on like the time management portion. Like how have you guys kind of overcome or worked time management to your favor?
I feel like Brother Jordan can answer that better than I.
Okay.
So the way I went around it is when I was taking a full schedule of classes, I always dedicated an opposing day to a specific class, and I also dedicated opposing hours, depending if I had like double classes a day. I would separate the amount of hours and the free time that I have to dedicate it to either one of the subjects or try to knock out both at the same time, if you can do that, if they align in that aspect. But honestly, it just comes down to maintaining a healthy balance between your personal life, that includes social and like all these relationships and stuff like that, and having a balance of school and work. If you're planning on working at the same time, make sure you have a dedicated amount of time to complete the amount of work that you're also doing for school. So just you can try managing it by hours, you can try managing it by days, have dedicated days to it, or you can just have, if you have friends with the same major, you can also have study groups with them. That actually like really helps, because like it helped me improve in some of the classes that I was struggling with as well. And once I was able to talk to some other people who were having the same issue, we figured ways around it, or figured study habits that helped us get the momentum above that class. So yeah.
To add to that, I would also say like address your needs, like really know thyself. Going in through this, you was living for your parents. you was living for your mentor or whatever, you know, your siblings, like straight up address what you need. Like Kai needs a hug every day. Like straight up, bro, I need a hug every day. And if I don't get it, something's off. Anyway, but like address your needs and make sure you meet them. And then when you address your needs, then you can start moving into the wants, and then you can start moving into like what other people want or et cetera.
And for time management, this is one thing that got me off that course. Is how many of us like to hang out, you know, with our friends, our buddies, or I say like to hang out with the homies, because that was one of the things that I like to do. And I thought, you know what, you know, there's free time now that I'm a college student. I have this freedom. I'm gonna, you know, no one's gonna tell me to go to class. So my biggest thing was hanging out with friends, you know, hanging out with girls. Like, you realize all the superficial stuff that you think is important because you're an adult now. It's not, because your homies are gonna take your classes for you. They can't go to work for you. They're not gonna study for you. Girls come and go. Well, it depends on whichever way. But also the thing is that we live on this reward basis. Like, people live for the weekends because they work so hard during the week and they reward themselves on the weekends.
Yeah.
For community college, or just college in general, you have to use it as, my schoolwork is my priority. You're a student first. Being a student gets you so much more respect than just like, oh, I do this, I do that. Like, people see like you're on a mission. And so when you're not putting time into that mission, it devalues what that title holds and what that potential holds.
Yep.
So you should definitely invest as much time into your school as possible, because then when you party, because I know people that go to the Berkeley, are law students, my cousins, all this and that. I'm like, how do you guys party? But you're a lawyer. You're, you know, going to be a district attorney. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And they're like, well, because I put in the work first. That's the fruits of your labor. Is that what it's called? You enjoy the
Definitely.
Yeah, so you have to reward yourself when it's time to reward yourself. But you can't have little micro rewards just because you did one assignment. Like, no, you gotta 100%, and then you can play hard or work hard, play harder.
Yeah, I was doing essays and parties. I wouldn't recommend it. Definitely not.
Yeah.
So just to address what was in the chat. So Tony said, I'm planning on finishing all my GE classes so I can take all the classes that San Jose program teaches, looking at 6 years to finally obtain my bachelor's. Brother, that's a good plan. I'm about to start year 6. Just to give a little background, I went to UOP for 3 years and I did 2 years at CRC. Brother, like, that's a good plan. That's all I got to say. Like, they say that this is supposed to take 4 years or you're supposed to do whatever. And I want to say, like, that's false. However long it takes you to get done, like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And then we will check and see if everything is going to be online. What else is there?
I think that's it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And
Cool.
Again, I remember this.
But yeah, I know that Sac State was gonna be in the fall, gonna be all online. So people are going home. So if you're online, you can definitely just do online classes anywhere.
Yep. All right, cool. Who got the mentoring?
I think it's me. So mentoring, everybody is going to get a college success coach. For your first semester, you're going to meet with us on a weekly basis just so we make sure you're on track to get what you need, get your goals met. After your first semester, depending on how well you do, or personally, like, look, be like, Kai, I like talking to you every week. Can you still hear us, Tony? Okay. Depending on if you're on your phone or not, Tony, you may have to swipe to the page that's being shared. But basically, after your first semester, we will have to help this brother. But yeah, after your first semester, we'll adjust how often you meet with us as coaches.
Cool. I think this is you, Brother Jordan.
So member development, we have different availabilities for each of your needs, and including social and with IYT help. So we also offer workshops which help with financial literacy, with mental health. We have other kind of workshops that have to deal with skills that you don't necessarily have. That's all available through IYT Virtual, and you can learn like different things, hang out with different people. We also offer fun workshops where we talk about different topics like sports debates, and it's just cool to see like everybody's coming out, hanging around together for those workshops online. The brotherhood activities that we had offered, but knowing the current situation right now, we don't know if we're going to be offering them unless they're like online basis, are like bowling or movie nights and stuff. We do have movie nights on IYT Virtual occasionally, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, brotherhood activities typically allow us to have a social gathering amongst our members, and everyone's hanging out and having fun for the most part. Member meetings are once a month, and they are held to basically catch up with one another in person and talk about some things, bring up some topics, have icebreakers to get to know a little bit more about each other and express your individuality, and also give you important info and little talks around the circles, talking about topics that are relevant to the lives that we're living today. We will require about 10 hours of community service a month, right? Or is it a week? A month?
Semester, but
Semester. Oh, okay, semester. My bad. But yeah, we're gonna have opportunities to do some community service. So if you guys want to help out, come out and help us out. We do food deliveries right now at the moment, and other stuff like that. The Summer Bridge program is technically where you guys are coming in. It's a lot of the incoming freshmen for college, just graduating out of high school, and we're getting them ready for understanding the challenges and difficulties and all the intricacies of going into community college and transferring out and all kinds of stuff. Helping with classes, helping with schedules, just basically here for your needs. And then we offer 2 brotherhood conferences a year. You have the summer conference and the winter conference. Basically, it's everybody in IYT coming out. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have already been there, but if not, just come out and see everyone. We have all kinds of physical workshops where we have a different amount of guests and different opportunities and colleges coming to speak to us. And we also have a game room there too. I know that'll get some people interested, but yes, that is a lot of what we offer here at IYT.
thank you, Jordan. And just to kind of reiterate while we're sharing, so we're showing the different components that you'll experience now that you're in IYTCC, right? You're transitioning from the high school program, right, that you've seen Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturdays, depending on your school, right? From the study halls, after school, the snacks. So now moving into the college space is a little bit different, right? Like someone said, now kind of like you're an adult. We're not going to treat you like you're in high school because you're not, one. But we're still going to give you the opportunities to cater to the things that will make you successful in college, right? And a lot of it has to do with academics, but also like, as some people already mentioned about their careers and professional development, like those are the things that we're going to be touching on, right, through the workshops. The brother activities are really more just fun. The member meetings are like those gatherings. Obviously, some of these things will look different in the beginning because of the virtual platform. But as we move forward as things improve, right, to where we can meet in person, that's what we'll gather in spaces on campus, off campus, and have community, right? We'll break bread, talk about different announcements and opportunities to get you guys plugged in. Yeah, so those are just a couple things that we do throughout the year, just to kind of get you guys going and thinking about what's next in IYTCC.
I do want to add also, if you want to do anything at all, like just let us know, because this is fluid. This program is catering to you. If you want to do something for a brotherhood activity, brother, let us know. If you got some workshop that you want to have, or if you want to learn something, we can figure it out and we can connect it to you. So up next we have tutoring. I've hosted online study sessions, so I'll create a Zoom link just like this. And we'll come in, I'll play music, and we can all sit here and do homework together. But we are going to connect you to the school's tutoring resources. While schools were open, there were things like the Reading Writing Center. There were like a math tutoring center. You can go get language tutoring help from like Spanish, French, etc. Now that we are basically in online learning, I have to see what they're trying to do to help these students, like ultimately help us, because they have certain help, but it's not as extensive as it was when school was in session. But me personally, like I helped a student write an essay one time when school switched. So ask your coach and they will see what they can do.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So career transfer trips and internships. So career trips is going to be basically to help you to find work, help prepare you for the workforce, whether that's after you transfer, after you get your vocational training, whether it's this brother said construction management, whether you go and get your associates or you get a certificate, you can transfer or move to some type of workforce where it's set up that way. Internships, we've done things like the Capital internship is something we do. There's an internship with the CCC, I forget what the college, the community college.
Yeah, Calvin.
Thank you, Renato. Yeah, so we have a few internships that that is a good question, brother. So I don't know if the Capital internship is happening this year.
I can answer that.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so right now it's going to look a little bit different. Obviously, it's not this summer, but we're actually planning, and again, this is just not 100% official, but I can tell you from working behind the scenes, we're planning to roll out basically a whole program curriculum that will be year round, right? Where you can have like an internship and get credit, like school credit. So that's in the works right now to be finalized with, I think we'll be partnering, I think with Sac City, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, instead of just for the summer, it's actually gonna be something year round where you can not only get internship experience and get paid, but now you can get school credit. So more information will be talked about that in the near future, but that's a great question, Saul.
To answer Tony's question, I'm pretty sure it wasn't like minimum wage. I thought it was like a stipend. Is that still?
Stipend, again, that's probably going to be determined once the final program is like confirmed. But all that information, yeah, will be kind of like in the program form where like, here's what students will be expected to get during the stipend.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then transfer tours. So when you're ready to go to a four-year college, we will be looking into that. We will be visiting these campuses and we'll be asking them the tough questions like, what do you have for me here at this school? Is this major impacted? What does it look like? It's basically seeing where you're headed before you get there. Yeah. So you're not just transferring somewhere that you don't like, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. And just to touch back on the career trips, a lot of time, I mean, the good thing about what you guys, which is awesome to see, a lot of you guys kind of already have an idea of what you want to do, which is amazing. I didn't know. I barely knew what I wanted to do from my major. I just had to choose something because they said, don't choose undeclared. So having these career trips is really an opportunity. You know, if you're someone like me that didn't know what you wanted to do, these are opportunities for you to get exposed of the different careers or industries or jobs that are out there that maybe you're not aware of, right? So a couple of years ago, as you can see in the picture, we visited Google. A lot of times people are thinking, oh, I gotta be an engineer or a software developer. No, there's like so many different, I mean, Google's so big, there's so many different, like you could be human resources, you can do marketing, you can do, there's actually like a, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure there's like a psychology department on the Google campus, right? There's photography. So all these different career fields within the umbrella of Google, right? So, and I think, Kai, you were there when we went to the UC Davis Medical School trip?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think that was a year and a half ago. So we try to just go to these different trips so people that are interested or maybe just curious of what it takes to get to that point, those are the purpose of the trips.
Cool. To add on to that also, what was I finna say? Lord have mercy.
I know what I was going to say. I was going to say that to add on, there's also the question of people who want to switch majors along the way, seeing if they take interest in another career, and that's perfectly fine. Like, you just got to be upward and prepared for it. And if you take interest in something else that captures your interest more than what you already initiated, then it's perfectly fine to feel that way and go in the route of studying in that major instead. So I'd say that career tours also offer that availability to just see other things that you might be interested in. So I'd say they're always cool to just come and check out it.
Yep.
I remember what I was gonna say now. Somebody told me, or I read somewhere, like some crazy outrageous number, like 50 to 70% of the jobs nowadays ain't even been, or jobs of the future haven't even been created yet. So I would suggest keep an open mind. I knew I was always gonna do theater when I got to college, but I had to take GEs, and when I took them GEs, it was like exposure. So I got exposed to another like major or another thing that I didn't know I liked sociology, so now I'm double majoring. You know what I mean? So it's like, keep your options open, take classes that sound interesting. Don't be afraid to like make mistakes. Be like, yo, I took this class, I hated it, now I know. It's basically you learning what you like and what you don't like.
Yep.
And what a perfect like environment at a community college.
Yep. Perfect. I think this is better than Jordan here.
Yep. So I'll like to explain emergency grants. Emergency grants are basically here for you in the cases of immediate emergency, such as not having enough funds to pay for classes or having a financial hold on your account due to either dropping a class or just not being able to complete a class as well. There's other things as well, like say you like had financial aid, but you dropped out of the semester. This could also technically help you pay a little bit of that off, but not necessarily all of it. But yes, we offer these emergency grants just in the case of emergency for students that just don't have the funds available to them. So I urge that everybody kind of goes to like a financial literacy workshop or just understanding that financial aid only covers so much, you know? So you got to be prepared to just have those funds in the back and just rely on like a little bit of just smart money spendings, not spending your money on like clothes or shoes or anything like that, you know? Just, it's okay to treat yourself, but like just be cautious of what you have to do first, you know what I mean? All right.
Yep. Needs,
Yeah.
wants.
I was gonna say to that, I was a recipient this year of a mercy grant that Renato helped me out through. I was in a bind, like how they were saying it can apply through different things, but for me it was rent, and it was just the whole mission of IYT is to get you to and through college, and if that comes with certain situations that are out of your control, they're willing to help you. So definitely take advantage of any resource that we provide because we are here for you. We're not here to cripple you or detach you from the path that you're meant to be on. We are here to assist and improve.
Yep. And the emergency grant can be found on the IYT website, so improveyourtomorrow.org. It has like not so much instructions, but more so a description of what the grant can be used. And again, a grant means free money. It's not something you have to pay back. And you can request up to $500, right? You just have to submit a couple documents, I think like a copy of your grades and make sure that you're in good standing. And we try to get it to you as soon as possible. Right now, in the last couple of weeks, we were able to support a couple of students that had emergency requests, and we were able to turn it around, basically Cash App or Venmo them the money right away instead of doing like at a school. This would take maybe a week or two, right? So we don't want to, again, if there's an emergency, you don't have a week or two. You probably have like a day, or for some people, like if I ask them when you need the money, they're like, I need it yesterday, right? So just keep that in mind. This is an amazing resource that's only for college students. So just keep that in the back of your mind. If there's ever a financial hardship, please let us know, and we'll try to make sure to get those funds to you. Cool.
Okay, so Brother Tony said that's another concern about the FAFSA that really worries me. I was told by the admission representative for a private university who was obviously trying to make sure I stay with their expensive course that the FAFSA becomes less and less helpful as time goes on. Now, if it's a private, but I went to a private university, and high key, sometimes they do finesse. I gotta keep it a buck. I don't know what situation you like. I don't know what that means. Now, certain things like if you take Cal Grant, Cal Grant only works for 4 years. I've been told. So once you start it, like 4 years and then it's done. So yeah. Let's get that school. And now, so if you're going to a community college, well, because you're going to community college, I would wait or hold off on the Cal Grant until you transfer, because right now courses are basically free because of the Promise California. Right on, brother. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what they were saying. If you want to elaborate, and then Brother Renato did ask what school that's available.
And I could see where, just based on that, I mean, you know, especially with going virtual, there's a lot of schools like private universities that don't operate like public schools, right? So they have they're approaching it from a different angle too, of like they need bodies, and so with more bodies, that means people are getting paid, right? That means that their school is well funded. So yeah, I think the FAFSA part that they mentioned, that I think that's false, because FAFSA is just something that you just reapply each year that you're going to school, and yeah, I don't know what they meant by less helpful, but
If anything, to me, it's reverse, because the more you go on, the more like connections you get, like all these grants and scholarships and stuff. Like the world is your oyster for real.
Also, if you claim independence on certain taxes, you also get a higher amount of FAFSA compared to people who are still dependent under their parents' household. So just another information.
Very true. Like me, I was claimed last year on taxes, so when everybody got that stimulus, I didn't. Anyway.
that's neither here nor there. But I wrote down, basically we'll be talking about financial aid stuff, because I know that the finances stuff is a big part of school, and it can be kind of scary, like especially, and I think we mentioned this the last session, when you get a lot of money and you're like not sure what to do with it. It can be a lot. It can be a little overwhelming. But we'll make sure to touch on that in the second part. Was this Jordan or Kai for this slide?
Yeah, I'll take this. Technically, IYT is trying to be the bridge to the community, to the school, the bridge to us, to our dreams and our goals. So we are trying to basically just connect you to whatever you need, whether that's a campus resource, counseling, career fair, scholarships, etc. Whatever you need, we're here to help you get it.
Yes, sir.
For free.
For free. Education connection. So upcoming events, we have the graduation celebration. That is the 13th. What day is that?
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, so see y'all there. We're going to be in there. The College Series Part 2. I should pull up a calendar so I know what day that is.
Hey, we look good in that picture, guys. I'm just saying.
Thursday.
Okay, so most likely a Thursday. And then later on in the month, we're having a CC Summer Bridge. That's going to be the 23rd through the 25th. The IYT first year experience. This is for CRC students specifically. The Summer Bridge is going to be, what is that, August 7th?
July.
No, July. There we go. July 13th through the 16th. And then IYT College Summit scheduled for August, sometime in August.
Yep.
And that's going to be the thing before we kick off, like, and we start school. It's going to be like kind of like the warm up to get us ready to start the fall semester strong.
Yep. And again, so today was the first basically series of the whole summer series that's going to count towards getting your laptop from IYT. So if you hopped on late, I know some of the guys already wrote in their names, but if you haven't done this yet, please make sure to type in your name and the school that you plan to attend in the fall, just so we make sure that you attended, to count towards your attendance of the overall summer series for the laptop. And just to touch on the summer bridge portion, so if you're going to CRC and you are applying for the summer bridge program, that can count towards your summer bridge like attendance, right? So that doesn't mean to go twice, right? So if you're going to do the CRC one, you don't have to go to the IYT. I encourage you to do both, but it's not mandatory. So it's basically just choosing one. And I know the other schools like Sac City, they have one. I believe ARC does as well, or at least the first year experience. So make sure to follow up on those, because those are very important to get you guys plugged in, get you guys informed on what you need to actually do for that institution, so you can guys have a good start in the fall. And let me
Check
see.
your college emails straight up. There'll be emails for financial aid where you can get grant money. They'll probably be like, hey, you should probably register. Like, just check your college email. Check your student portals. Don't let nothing get past you.
Yep. Perfect. So I think we're wrapping up really good on time. So now we're just going to use the last couple minutes. If you have any questions, things that you can, that are just on your mind from either the presentation or things about school, because we'll answer some of them. And if we need more time, we'll make sure to follow up in the next session. So I'm just going to stop sharing for now and just use these last few minutes. If you have any questions, please feel free to unmute your mics or just type it in the chat.
I'm going first. Brother Dylan said, is the first generation program the same as FYE? What generation program are you talking about, sir? There's a couple.
Right.
From what I heard is that at CRC there's a program for first generation college students, and I also heard about FYE, and I'm just trying to figure out the difference between them.
That's probably for FYE.
There's also programs like Umoja, and they take people as freshmen and kind of put them in like a cohort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a few different organizations. Brother Tony said, I should still try to move out of my folks' home, right? That's a good question. So it depends. It depends. If you have enough money to support yourself, like, by all means, brother, do what you got to do. But if you are like, if it's chores, if it's your mom still parenting you, the reason why you want to move out, like, you may have to make a tough decision. Like, personally, I moved out of my mom's house, and I'm 22 now. So I moved out of my mom's house a few months ago. You know what I mean? Like, it took a little bit of time. And I'm living with roommates, so it's not like I can support like an entire rent by myself. So if you have the means and you trust, if you're living with roommates, for them to pull their weight, like, by all means, do what you got to do.
Just make sure you have a plan. That's all
plan.
we're looking for. Something to fall back on, something to support yourself. Like, if you have a job or if you just have money coming in, just make sure you budget well and just understand the situation.
Okay, since CC is free first 2 years, what sort of things would we have to spend money on, like books? So books, I know Brother Jordan has to buy materials for his classes, art supplies. I had to buy like an entire makeup kit for my class, you know, just for the theater acting stuff. If you got a car, insurance, all that stuff, like, to make sure you get to point B. If you have a job, like a uniform, you know what I mean? Whatever you have to do to ensure that you get more money, make sure that that's where that money is going into. Said, yeah, Brother Tony said he'd much rather live with roommates. Brother, if you got roommates right now that got a job, my whole thing is also, if you don't have credit, sometimes it's hard to get approved for an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do recommend Chegg, Brother Saul. So Chegg, with these books, sometimes you can get it from a friend. I got a book one time. The student came in and was like, hey, I'm trying to sell this book. And it was like a tenth of the price. And I just raised my hand because nobody else wanted it. And I came up that day. So just keep your eyes open. Blessings really are everywhere, for real.
Also, if you have a classmate that has access to getting PDFs of books for free, hit them up. just hit them up, because those come clutch sometimes.
And I don't know if y'all know, but Canvas is similar to like Synergy, depending on what high school you went to. But Canvas is like the portal, and they have a way in which you can email your classmates. So you could email your classmates and be like, look, I need the notes, or what do you want to do? And basically it's all like, you're trying to network. You're trying to create community between you, your classmates, you and your other brothers, like, to basically help each other out. Yeah, Dylan said never buy books from the bookstore because they jack up the prices. Big facts. There's always an alternative route. Sometimes the book did come out like that year, so you do need it. Like Spanish last year, I needed to buy the newest edition, and so it was just, I had to take that L.
There'll be some professors that'll let you take a previous issue of the book. So just be on the lookout for what's on the syllabus.
Yep. Yeah, these are good.
Anybody have any more questions?
Is there anything that you would like to be addressed in the next session that we can go deeper in? Some things I wrote down is definitely talking about transferring, time management, finances, talking about debt. Is there any other topics that you want to go deeper in for the next session?
Let me go over, just for me, because I know it's true. I don't know if you already have a session for this, but like the imposter syndrome stuff.
Okay.
Especially those that are applying to the IYT program. Like personally, grades was not the greatest sometimes, but I was still like trying to motivate students to be their best and do their best. And it was like, man, is this like, am I lying to myself? Am I lying to them?
I remember you talking about that, Kai.
It goes deep. So I would add like mental. I know we got a mental health thing, but just, I don't know.
No, there's like you need a certain mental capacity and awareness when you go to college, especially if you're your first generation, if you've never thought about college, if it's just it's a thing.
Definitely.
Yep.
And one thing is if you are struggling, don't be afraid to contact us, because a lot of students now currently feel that way. We're not like here to patronize you or like get on your back or anything like that. We're here to help you guys out. So if there's any way that we can help you with a situation, whether it be with grades or classes, just understand that we're here for your needs.
Actually, Jordan and Kai, do you guys mind dropping your guys' like contact, whether it's like email?
For sure.
If these guys have any questions, they can reach out to you. And again, this is again part 1. Next week we'll do part 2, and then once we get into the summer bridge, that'll be like deeper dive into other things, and then we'll end it off in August for the college summit. And our hope is by August. Obviously, I know some people are probably still cautious about social distance, and that's perfectly fine. But we'll hopefully by that time things will be a little bit better. We can meet in person, maybe limited to a certain number. But there will be also the option for virtual. So we'll keep you guys informed as we get closer to August and July. But again, thank you guys for hopping on. You'll be getting a confirmation for your attendance towards this laptop, right? So you 13, 14 that are on, follow-ups and make sure that you guys are top of the list.
Surely.
Cool. Well,
And if you want, you can reach out to us if it's a personal question, like whatever. It's good.
yes, sir.
Also, if you guys want a game sometime, just let me know. I'll be playing games.
Not for real. This man created a Discord. If you want that
Yep.
link.
We have an IYT Discord if y'all want to join it.
So,
I have the PS5.
all right, brothers, we are right at 4:00. Appreciate your time. We'll see you next week. Talk to you guys soon.
Yo, peace, y'all.
Peace up. A-Town down.